I've got a full day planned today. I'm not exactly sure how far I'll get with everything, but while we've got a break in the weather, it's not supposed to rain today. There's a bunch of little things that I want to run around and try to get done. We got a lot of ground to cover, so we better get started. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. The first thing that I'm doing this morning is moving around some of these solar energizers. What spurred all this is that I need another one over at the winter pasture, and I thought, well, now that the cows are locked up, I don't need my S100 here in the weaned calf pasture. But then I got to thinking, well, putting the S100 on a single line over there at the winter pasture is way overkill, and it would actually be better used on my poultry net back at the house. So I'm going to take this down here. I got to take the wire down because now that it is not hot, the calves are just going to mess with it and destroy it like they always do. So better to just get it out of the way so they can't do that. We'll take the S100 back over to the house, put it on the poultry net, take the S40 off of the poultry net, and take that over to the winter pasture to put on that hot wire. Callie's gonna make a water dog out of her yet. Got it. Pretty tough to stay dry when you're rolling up a wet hot wire. I think I've got what I need here. Let's head back up to the house. Come on, get in. We got the chickens moved out here yesterday, and you can tell they've already taken a toll on this little area that I've got. There's only one net up here right now. At some point I will bring my other net and widen this area up and make a really nice big area for them. But for now, this is what they've got. And that's sort of part of the reason why I want to put the bigger solar energizer here, is because when I do double up these nets, it's going to be drawing that much more power. And I think the 100 will be a lot better suited to handle that than the 40 is. So right now we're getting 2600 volts on this net, which is not a ton, but probably sufficient enough to keep like a dog or something like that out of here. However, when I double the nets up, that number will drop even more. And honestly, I like to see it up a little bit higher anyway. So let's put the 100 on here and see what we've got. With the S100, we've got about 4200 volts. Well, I think we're back in business here, as good as we're gonna be. What I really should have done, and I don't know why I didn't do it, I should have mowed the path where the net was gonna go so that I wasn't having grounding issues on the grass, especially now with the grass being wet. It's really conductive, so that is making it harder for this energizer to work properly. I think when I do bring the second net over here, I will do that so that we don't hopefully have these issues. But for now, 4200 volts is plenty. I don't want to touch it, and I imagine that most predators feel the same. In years past, we've always hung the box right here, so I guess that's what I'll do again. All right, let's see what we're hitting at. About 6,000. This wire's got just over 6,000 volts on it, which is gonna be plenty. It'll do the job just fine. And this box, it's overkill for what we're doing with it. But the nice thing about this is I've still got plenty of wire on this reel. If I end up needing to hot wire off the levee, I can just run this reel up to the top of the levee and then run the wire down that way. So we can expand this if we need to. I didn't run the wire up to the top of the levee now because I want to leave this gate open. You just never know what can happen if cattle end up on the other side of this fence in some way. I don't think they're going to cross where the hot wire is, but they might get through on the other side of the levee and then come up over this way. You just never know. Well, if they do end up down here, it's nice to have a gate to get them back in. Otherwise, you got to run them over the levee and they got to find their hole all over again. That's just not the route that you want to go. Much easier to have a gate. And that's what we've got. So we'll just leave it like this. Now, I want to run up to the north end and test that wire. I've already got a solar energizer on it. So I want to just make sure that we're still hitting good over there. And then maybe we can track these cows down, see what they're up to. 7,000 on this one. And I see berry vine touching it. I imagine this is going to be the problem with this wire, as we're going to start getting a lot of brush laying on it. Hopefully that's not a problem until later in the spring when the grass is growing a lot more aggressively, and we'll probably be able to take these hot wires down. Let's see if that made any difference. What did I say? 7,000? It's about the same. How we doing? Well, they are a little bit harder to track down when they're grazing out here in the trees, but I was able to count 20, a pretty reliable count at that. So everybody's here, everybody's happy. That's all I'm really worried about. I think we can head back home because we got more to do. I'm back up here at the house now, and the next job on the schedule is to get a hot wire put up around our garden here. It doesn't look like much of a garden now, but in the summertime it was. I want to get this fenced off so that I can turn the pigs out here and let them start working all this ground up for me before their appointment in mid-January. The wire is loosely up now, so I can kind of go back through, get the slack out of it, get everything set at the levels that I want it, and then I can really tighten it up after I do all that. Wire here, I think. What do you think, Billy? Hmm? This is looking pretty good to me. I got obviously 2 hot wires here. These pigs have already been trained to hot wire. There is a hot wire inside the pen that they are in now, so they know what it looks like and they know what it does. I don't think I would probably put pigs in an enclosure like this if they had never seen a hot wire before, but this is what I did last year and I didn't have any problems with pigs getting out. So knock on wood, let's hope we got the same luck this year. So the only thing left to do is hook it up and put the tester on. See how hot it is. I hope that's coming through on the camera. You can hear that wire popping, and I'm looking everywhere for something metal touching this, and there is nothing. The only thing that I can figure is that somehow we are getting a voltage drop or a current draw through the bungee cords, which doesn't make any sense because they're rubber, and last time I checked, rubber is not conductive, but maybe these are made out of something weird that can conduct a little bit. When I hook the new wire up, I get about 2,600 volts. When I unhook it, I get close to 8,000 volts. So there's a pretty significant drop here. and the only thing I can figure is that it is coming through on those bungee cords. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this piece of hose here, and I'll try to put that over the wire and see if just kind of insulating the wire from the bungee cords helps this at all. I don't know, we'll try it. I don't know that this is gonna be easy to do because these are so tight, but we will somehow do it. Might have been a little easier to just do 2 short pieces of this vinyl hose instead of 1 long one, but here we are. I think we're good. Let's try it again. So far, it's better. There's no popping noise. Let's put the tester on and see if we are getting any voltage drop now. There we go. Now we're at 7,300. That's much better. So from 2,600 to 7,200, I feel a lot better about that. I think all I've got to do now is pull these old tomato cages out and I can turn the pigs in here. Oh, uh-oh. Belly, you're on the wrong side of the wire. I better get Belly out of there before she learns a hard lesson. Belly, come on. Here. Good girl. Boy, Belly has zero respect for this hot wire. She doesn't know what it is or what it can do. And I'm worried, you know, I don't really want her to get hit by it, but I guess that's the only way she's gonna learn what it is. Still, I think for now, I'm gonna put the dogs in the side-by-side, turn the wire back on, and see if the pigs will come out here. Sometimes it takes them a while to venture out into a new area, so we'll see how this group does. Get in. Get in there. Okay, you guys stay. You see that? Pigs are pretty smart. It's no coincidence that they all got right up to that wire and not a single one of them touched it. They know what it is. We're back here at the ranch now, and I think we're about due for a trail cam update. And I'll tell you right up front, I haven't been putting the trail cam by the live trap because those kittens have just been in that thing constantly. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to use that to try to catch rats because those kittens just will not leave it alone. The bacon grease that I tried putting in there, it's an excellent cat lure if you're trying to catch cats. So this is what I'm talking about. The trap is on its side because the kittens were probably playing on it or something. And I almost forgot the whole reason I came over here was to get the trail cam and see what I've got on there. So I'll put that footage right here. Going through the trail cam footage, I didn't think that I really had anything interesting. I mean, I know the owls are new, but there's plenty of evidence that owls are in here, so it wasn't a real surprise for me to get those. But one thing that did start to catch my attention is that I noticed I had that one big older cat going to the back of the barn. I mean, hundreds of videos of that cat coming in or out of the back of the barn there. And then I also saw a few videos of the two kittens back here, or so I thought. I thought I was looking at these two kittens that we've been feeding up here at the front of the barn, but as I looked a little bit more closely, I can tell that these kittens are a lot smaller, and they're not these ones that I've got up here. So then I started thinking, well, probably that old cat has a little nest back there and she had herself a couple of kittens. And then as I went through more of the footage, that was confirmed as I see the big cat with the two young kittens kind of playing and, you know, acting like mother and babies would. So that means we've got a lot of cats in this barn. That was a little bit of a surprise. I know a few of you, when we first caught that cat on the trail cam, said that she was pregnant, or you thought she had just had kittens, and I guess you guys were right, because she's got a couple of kittens back there with her. And this has got me thinking how the cat population in this barn is starting to get out of control, and if I don't do anything about it, it will get out of control. So I think a job that I need to add to the to-do list is bringing my larger live trap over here and catching mama kitty and trying to catch the kittens as well. And then I'm gonna have to take them and get them spayed or neutered, whatever applies to them. There's always something happening around here. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.